What drives someone to charge headfirst into danger? It could be for the thrill, love, or any other number of reasons. For Kazuma Kiryu, it's for his family. Hey everyone, and welcome to another GameCast review. I'm Mark, and today I'll be reviewing Yakuza 6 Song of Life, now available exclusively for the PlayStation 4. The Yakuza games have always prided themselves on their storytelling capabilities. What would otherwise be a simple narrative of vengeance or bonds becomes a complex crime drama with a heavy emphasis on the drama. At any given moment, Yakuza is stupidly serious or seriously stupid. It is recommended to have played previous games in the series, but there is a way to catch up on the story for newcomers. Anyway, Yakuza 6 is set in the year 2016, where now retired Yakuza Kazuma Kiryu is released from prison and ready to start his life anew, with his pseudo-adopted daughter and the orphanage he's been taking care of for several games. Things don't go as planned, as is usually the case for Kiryu, as he discovers just how much has changed since serving time. The biggest of these changes is that his pseudo-daughter Haruka has a little baby named Haruto. Due to certain circumstances outside his control, Kiryu now finds himself separated from Haruka, and takes it upon himself to find the father of his grandson Haruto. This search takes him all over his former stomping grounds of Kamurocho, which is engulfed in a crime war between the Japanese, Chinese and Korean mafias. It also takes him to the fictional seaside town of Onmichi, which seems to hold the answers Kiryu needs. Things aren't as simple as just asking around town, however, as soon Kiryu finds himself caught up in even more Yakuza feuds despite trying his best to cut his ties with organised crime. While much of the older cast are only here for brief cameos, the new characters have a lot of personality, and Hirose is a particularly fun character to have around. Even though they do little for the plot, I found the moments when Kiryu actually acted like a father taking care of a baby to be the best, as it shows a softer side to such a tough character. In previous titles we'd seen this side of him too, but it feels a little more prevalent here. Most side quest stories are fun and a little bit stupid, like helping a wrestling fan stick up to some bullies or dealing with a self-aware phone AI. But then there are some emotional arcs, like Kiryu trying to help a child find merchandise for her favourite idol, who just so happens to be Haruka. The Yakuza games are massive playgrounds of optional minigames and side objectives. Sometimes it's hard to pin down exactly what these games are, but the best way to describe it is a sandbox brawler. The sandboxes aren't really that large, but they are packed full of stuff to do. Anywhere you turn there's either a fight, a restaurant, side quest or random minigame. It feels a little daunting at first, but that subsides rather quickly. Anyway, you'll share your time between wandering the streets, following the story or cracking skulls on a regular basis. Yakuza 6's new engine allows all of this to take place seamlessly within the open world, and it's refreshing taking a fight through alleys, restaurants and convenience stores. Kiryu's move list this time around is a little more focused, as he can no longer swap combat styles like he could in previous entries. Instead, he has a single style that brings in elements of all his previous movesets. He can also enter a special hyper mode that dials the absurdity up a bit more. It's a pretty simple system of chaining light and heavy attacks together until there's only one person left standing. There are a few special maneuvers to overcoming certain enemies, but it's all a little basic now that there's only a single combat style. Anyway, the star of the combat are Kiryu's special context-sensitive heat actions. These are devastating moves that vary from beatdowns to probable death for the opponent. Everyone is fine though, because Kiryu has never actually killed anyone, but his heat actions seem to cut it a little close. While they are brutal, they can also be funny thanks to the new game engine and new facial animations and weapons. The chopstick takedown is especially magnificent. The upgrade system is cool too, with different kinds of XP being handed out for different actions, and each one feeding into the growth of your stats and skills. When you're not cracking skulls, you can take part in any of the weirdly well-constructed side activities available in Kamurocho. From working out at the gym to playing Virtua Fighter, visiting a cabaret club or belting out a few songs in karaoke, Yakuza 6 has it all. I haven't tried everything yet, but that's mainly because everything is just so well detailed. The arcade games are the genuine full titles, karaoke changes depending on who you're dating at that moment, and your workout at the gym is enhanced by eating a complimentary dish. They don't feel like afterthoughts, everything on display has been added carefully to gel with the rest of the experience. It's impressive and a little weird, especially the live chat minigame, which is hard to describe beyond awkward. At any moment there was always something to do, and that's what I appreciate most about these games. Maybe I don't want to beat up people or follow the story. Maybe I want to play mahjong, or maybe I want to take selfies with strangers. It's a game that gives you a refreshing level of freedom due to the amount of detail put into each activity. Yakuza 6 isn't the prettiest game out there. While the new engine does look good and Kiryu moves believably, the addition of a ragdoll-like physics engine and weird glow in Kiryu at times makes the crispness of the engine falter a little. Thankfully, this doesn't creep up too much, and it's worth noting because the pre-rendered cutscenes and cityscapes are incredible. The motion capture makes the actors look real, and the small environmental details make the world come to life. It's thanks to these characters that the story carries so well, as the general narrative of finding Haruto's father is pretty simple on paper, but the soap opera style drama that Yakuza has honed over many years keeps everything going at a great pace with some believable and silly performances. Also, Kiryu's face is just great, with a brow that never seems to unfurrow. The side activities are another highlight of the game's presentation, with old classic Sega games on show and some completely random yet also beautiful karaoke numbers that leave me sitting here with a ridiculous smile on my face. The new soundtrack is good, although a few tracks are a little overused. Kiryu's voice is still the beautiful mix between angry and soothing, and it just works with a character like him. I love these games so much. Of course, much like the other entries in the series, 6 is not without its faults. Like how the combat can drag on a bit now that there's a lack of combo diversity, or that some enemies in the second half of the game can hit incredibly hard and stagger less. But as a whole, it's just an absolute joy to play. It's definitely not everyone's kind of game, but that's also part of its charm. Some people will hate it, while others will find something special about it and cling to it, sort of like my relationship with the Nier franchise. The first Nier had awful controls, but it had a beautiful core and narrative that made the experience all the more special that it wasn't perfect. Yakuza is similar to that. It's a flawed diamond of a game series. So if anything I've just said over the last few minutes appeals to you, then I'd say Yakuza 6 Song of Life is worth a buy. It's silly in all the right ways, and I hope anyone who plays it loves it as much as I do. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed that video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you'd like to see more from me, you can find me right here as part of the review team, or over at Arisen Culture, where I make a bunch of random videos until something sticks. Until next time, bye!
よーっお疲れ様でした